Good morning. This is Susan of the North, also known as Susan Hintz-Epstein, with the weekly Rune of the Day overview. The rune for Sunday, the 6th of October, is Menage. This is the rune of humanity. This is the rune of if we make full use of this rune in terms of our spiritual evolution, we can see reflected in one another our likes and our dislikes about ourselves. Let me explain that briefly. It is a human pattern to blame other people for what we don't want to accept the blame for in ourselves. And sometimes this has different shades of truth. It's all relative. I mean, if someone raped us, yes, they raped us. I'm not going to take upon myself the blame for that rape. But it's really, I'm referring to it in terms of psychology and learning about myself. And the old philosophical adage, know thyself. What we see in other people, we like, we dislike. Generally, we have these traits in ourselves, and psychologically, there is a pattern of blaming and projection onto others. You know, when I am deeply in love and I'm projecting onto my beloved all of those good qualities I see in him, they're also in me. When my husband died and that love came back to me, I had to learn to fall in love with myself again because there had been so much giving out to another person. And yet we're here. We are an aspect of the divine in and of ourselves, and we can see that in each other. What we dislike in ourselves, we can see that in other people too. Again, remember that I'm speaking across the board in a relative generalization, but it holds true at that level. This is Menage, the rune for October 6th. On Monday, October 7th, I have drawn the rune Ak. The sun coming in the window. I'm trying to find it there. Sometimes in the shadow. No. Ak is the rune of the oak tree, standing alone. Sometimes in standing alone, you find your own vigor. But it's also a rune of leadership and leadership potential. What is it that you have to offer? What is it? What are your gifts of leadership? For someone like me, it's inspiring others to be their best selves. For someone else, it's being an example to other people. For someone else, it's the gift of gab and being a good team leader. So, what is your gift of leadership today? What is it that you have to offer humanity? Remember, yesterday we talked about the reflective qualities of each other. For Tuesday, the rune Ior comes up. And there we go. Ior is the river serpent. He represents Jormungand, who Odin cast into the waters around Midgard. It's a protective serpent, yet at the same time, he devours. And I want to remind you that throughout the ages, the serpent and the snake have been um, a symbol of regeneration, a symbol of sexuality and sensuality, the ability to live in your body sensually with full understanding of its capacity, and also the recognition that when the Christians usurped the Torah for the seed for their own Bible, somehow the serpent got demonized and stands for everything dark and deadly and sinful and beguiling and lying. And so we need to look at both of these aspects in terms of this. We are living in a duality. There is light and dark, there's the in breath and the out breath, there's life and there's death. And when we see and experience totally both sides of the duality, only then do we find the middle ground. And there is a great blessing there. So when we know our own truth and we know how our personal patterns of illusion serve to masquerade us in our walk among humanity, And I'm talking about the masks we wear of niceness and kindness and pleasantness in order to get along with other people so that they don't hurt us, so that we don't feel abandoned, so that we don't feel alone, we don't feel so lonely. All of these are here. And the true middle ground is our authenticity. But we are also the deciders of how we want to appear. It's just beautiful to have full conscious awareness of all of these things that are in play at any given time. The rune for Wednesday is Rido. Rido appears in its reversed position. Something has arisen to put a stalling on the journey, whether it is something that happened through your awareness of Ior or something that happened otherwise. There is a halt in the journey today, and it could be sometimes an interpretation in physical life is a trip to the hospital or a trip that's been canceled or something. Um, I always dislike giving these aspects of this is what it is because it's all relative and nothing is ever cast in stone. So I don't call myself a fortune teller. I'm more in line with what may be. Rido may be a trip to the hospital. It may be a stalling of your journey because of something that happens to someone you love or care for, or even yourself in the health department. But it might also be a message gone awry. It might be a confusion of communication in the way you and other people are connecting with one another. It doesn't have to be the ultimate dire consequences of a hospital journey, for example. So I try to present all sides of it. Whatever it is, there will be a disruption to your journey. Wednesday, if you found this. On Thursday, the rune that comes up is Isa. Isa is a total standstill. So whatever pulled your journey to a halt yesterday, there is time to reflect. There is time to think about what happened. There is time to concentrate on what you need to think about. Nothing positive will come from any action you choose to take today. So use the stillness to get in touch with whatever it is you need to get in touch with. Concentrate on getting out of whatever dilemmas have arisen. And remember that life is always a journey in different ways, up and down, stillness and activity. Today is a day for stillness. That is Thursday, October 10th. On Friday, the 11th, we have a better rune. This is Berkano. This is the rune of birth, new beginnings, new ideas given form. So the halt on your journey that occurred on Wednesday, that you had time to think about on Thursday, has likely given rise to new ideas, new approach, a new beginning. This rune also signifies weddings. It also signifies all forms of life initiation. It oversees births, deaths. New beginnings is the best interpretation for today. This is Friday, October 11th. And on Saturday, October 12th, we have the rune Wunyo. Wunyo is joy. It has no other meaning. Joy. Whatever has come out of the new birth, whether it is a new baby, whether, hey, maybe that hospital trip was to deliver the new baby, but whatever it is for you today, this is a rune of joy. Good conclusions have come from what happened earlier in the week. And I want to wish you all a blessed week ahead. And before I go, let me just take a moment to promote my book again. This is Rune Play. I'm Susan Hintz-Epstein when I'm not at the Rune fairs. And I have written this book in a way for you to use the energies behind the runes to know yourself better. It asks you about different patterns of your life, and you can answer according to where you are at the moment. Understanding the runes is a cycle. They are not in the lettering themselves. It's the lettering representing the energies behind the runes. The runes are ancient archetypes. that the god Odin brought forth with his death initiation on the tree Yggdrasil, but the Norns had scratched the runes on the root of the tree for the man to find during his death initiation. Now, to remember that death initiations are not always dying. It is a pattern of enlightenment or illumination that we must die to our ego. And in dying to our ego, what is it we find? What is it we are born to? It is the same thing as Jesus speaking to Nicodemus in the Bible, being reborn of water and the Spirit. We need emotion. Emotion is like water. What is our emotion? What is it that motivates us to movement of the physical body, to thinking about what we want in life and how to acquire it? This book is not necessarily about that, but this book is about finding your own self-understanding. You can go to Amazon and you can get a paperback copy or you can get a Kindle copy. I'm Susan Hintz-Epstein, and once again, I wish you a blessed Rune week ahead.